Mr. Damar Hamlin. He was actually in camp. He's looking good. He had a pick 6. So I obviously don't want to get my hypes up too much in regards to Hamlin and whether or not, he's going to be able to perform and go out there and ball like he should be able to, because we still don't know, right? There's a lot involved. There's going to be all eyes on him, especially while he's playing it right now, even during camp. So to put him in a scenario to where he's back in the game right now, I just don't know. Would I like to see him on the field? Of course. Do I think it's a good thing right now? I can't say. That's obviously up for him and up to him and the doctors, the team, management, the owners, and everyone to figure that out and whether or not he's ready to step back out on that field. Do I want to see it? Sure. But I just don't know how I really feel about it. So let's get into it. After emotional return to full contact, what's next for Bills' Damar Hamlin? Let's get into the video.
Adam, is there concern that maybe Josh Allen, look, great, amazing quarterback, that he needs to maybe change up a little bit, play a little bit more safe in order to last longer and really bring the Bills to the promised land?
Well, I think as you get older, you get wiser about some of the tackles you decide to take on or not take on. But the fact of the matter is that's who Josh Allen is. He runs over people. He runs around people. He's not going to give up the use of his legs, but obviously he can be smarter about some of the decisions he makes some of the times. But that's what makes him the threat he is. That's what makes him one of the best quarterbacks in all of football. I don't see him.
Well, I like that he's saying that. Before we get into the Damar situation, obviously, one of the biggest things that we seen with Allen over the years is the amount of hits, right? Every time he takes a hit, it's like, is he okay? And then he gets up and he shakes it off like it's nothing. Now, obviously, if you played any kind of sport, that's just the adrenaline pumping and that good energy and all that kind of stuff. But when those games are over, he's in that ice, all right? He's sore. He's definitely feeling it. And over the course of the seasons, obviously that's going to take a toll on this man's body. So, like I was saying in the beginning of basically when the NFL season we started talking about it, was whether or not Allen needed to basically pass the ball more opposed to run. And I still stand on that. I do think that he needs to sit back in that pocket a little bit more, pass the ball, utilize that run game that they have now, and, let Cook work. I think that he can figure out more time in the pocket if obviously that offensive line can allow it, because let's be honest here, the Bills offensive line has been problematic, and that's why Allen has had to run. He's been hurried. He's been pressured. Those create so many issues as far as with him not wanting to get sacked, so he's going to take off. He's going to use those feet. But to me, that's one of the biggest issues that we've had with the Bills, not just from a defensive standpoint, but that offensive line and putting Josh Allen in those situations to where he can actually perform the way that he needs to. But yeah, as it says, second most quarterback hits taken since entering the league in 2018 at 851. That's absolutely crazy. You don't want your star quarterback taking that many hits. But hey, that's another story. Shout out to my man Duke. What up, yo? What's going on with you, Kathy? Kathy in the house. Says Bills need to use the running backs more. Yes, we are on the same page. Jonas says he only takes hits because he's a giant running the ball, and safeties and linebackers love to hit a giant. It's true. He's got the size for it. He's got the strength. But I'll tell you this, the older you get, the more brutal you become. So, yeah, he's going to have to go ahead and stop taking so many hits and air that thing out. So let's continue on with the Damar Hamlin story. So as Damar Hamlin jogged onto the field at Highmark Stadium, he let out a yell. The cheers of Buffalo Bills fans seemed to get louder as he picked up speed. While thousands watched from the stands, Hamlin was full of emotions, later sharing he cried multiple times during Friday night's return of blue and red practice. About 7 months ago, Hamlin was watching the Bills in the playoffs from an unfamiliar place in a suite above the field, just weeks after suffering cardiac arrest during a January primetime game. Now, as preparations for the 2003 kick into overdrive, he's playing football once again. In quote, just walking out to practice on the field, this is one of the biggest moments as well. So much energy just flowed out. Hamlin said Friday, I didn't know how it was going to go. I didn't know how I was going to react, but I got so much love for the game and love for the sport. You learn so much about yourself and about life through playing this game. And listen, hear me out. You got to realize, I don't think you have to be a football player to know that kind of situation coming back onto the field is definitely going to be emotional, right? You don't know how your body's going to react to it. You don't know how you're mentally going to react to it. So you're taking it day by day. And, big ups to him because that does take a lot. You got a man who, practically was, and it just easier way of saying it, he was practically dead at one point. So to go back out there and do the same thing that you love to do and push that fear aside shows strength, shows resilience, and shows that, he's built this way. So shout out to Hamlin for continuing and pushing on. So it goes on to say, after a spring and summer spent in part giving back in form of promoting CPR training and distributing automated external defibrillators, he was back to the normal rhythm of training camp. Hamlin's football routine has become perhaps one of the most normal things remaining in his life. Sometimes it's like normal doesn't exist, but it's a blessed space. It's a super blessed space, Hamlin said to reporters after his first padded practice last Monday. My dad has been preaching like just trying to make sure everything is normal as possible. But as far as my situation, it's a unique situation, and I have to, I will live with that forever. I'll sit with that forever. But I try to keep things as normal as possible. Like I said, I wish I could do this process under a rock just to force myself and pop out whenever I felt like I was super duper ready to be a Pro Bowler. But I think there's power in being out here every day and doing my process in front of the world. So shout out to Damar Hamlin, for going back out there and still believing in himself and balling. Like I said, I'm not sure if, we'll see him back on the field playing at that same level. But I would like to see it. I would like to see it.